All right, let's just jump right in. If you're making short form video, you already know the game has completely changed. So today we're breaking down the playbook you absolutely need to win from your very first follower all the way to your first million. So what really separates the creators who are blowing up from the ones who just feel stuck? Honestly, it boils down to this one number. Creators who actually have a documented content strategy, they see 3 times higher engagement rates than those who just post and pray. Strategy, my friends, is not optional anymore. And here's why that strategy matters so much. The algorithms on TikTok and YouTube, well, they've gotten incredibly smart. They don't just reward you for hopping on a trend anymore. They reward authenticity, they reward consistency, and they reward content that's actually built for a specific audience. Randomly posting and hoping for the best, that is a recipe for going absolutely nowhere. Look, to build a winning strategy, you've got to know what level of the game you're on. Because let's be real, the stuff that gets you your first 10,000 followers is not the same stuff that's going to take you to 100,000 and beyond. So let's break down this whole journey into 3 very distinct stages. Think of this as your personal roadmap. First, you're building your foundation. Then you hit the accelerator for the growth phase. And finally, you establish yourself as an authority. And each one of these stages, it requires a totally different focus, a totally different playbook. Okay, so let's get into that first stage, the foundation. And here's what might surprise you. Going viral? That's not the goal. Not yet. Instead, it is all about participation. It's about finding your specific niche, replying to comments with new videos, and using features like duets and stitches to jump into conversations. Your whole mission here is to build a small but super loyal core audience, the ones who really trust you. Okay, so once you've built that foundation, you level up to the growth phase. And this is a big shift because now you're building a brand, not just an account. You're launching recurring series so your audience knows what to expect, and you're starting to collaborate with other creators. And the most crucial part, you have to shift your mindset. Forget just chasing likes. Focus on saves and shares. Why? Because those are the metrics that scream value to the algorithm. And then, once you hit that 100K mark, you enter the authority stage. And believe me, the game changes. Again, you're not just a creator anymore. Now you're a leader in your space. This is where you start making that deeper, higher production content, monetizing directly with things like TikTok Shop, and really mentoring the community you've worked so hard to build. All right, so you know your stage. That's step 1. But now for the million-dollar question. What kind of content do you actually make? Well, to figure that out, we have to zoom out and look at this huge cultural shift that's happening right now. We need to understand the why behind what people are watching. And the single biggest theme for 2026 is this idea of irreplaceable instinct. Think about it. We've had years of that super polished, perfect, curated fantasy online, and people are just over it. They're craving reality. They want the unfiltered stories, the behind-the-scenes stuff, and real, genuine connection. Basically, perfection is out and raw honesty is totally in. And this slide just perfectly nails that shift. We're moving away from these kind of escapist trends, like hashtag Delulu or hashtag romanticizing your life. And we're moving towards stuff that's way more grounded and intentional. People want to see creators who are hashtag locked in on their goals, who are focused on self-improvement and discipline, or hashtag hygiene, and who are finding ways to be hashtag rich in life through experiences, not just stuff. So, beyond that big theme, here are 2 more specific trends you can really master. First up, curiosity detours. Just think about it. We all use these platforms like search engines now, right? Your video can be that amazing detour someone finds on their search journey, the answer they didn't even know they were looking for. And second, emotional ROI. The days of buying something just because are fading. People need a clear why to buy. Your content has to show them the real value, whether that's joy or usefulness or just meaning. That whole idea of emotional ROI is the perfect bridge to our next topic, actually making money. And let's be honest, in 2026, if you're talking creator monetization, you have to talk about the absolute giant in the room, TikTok Shop. And if you're kind of wondering just how big of a deal this is, take a look at this number. The projection for TikTok Shop's gross merchandise volume in 2026 is, wait for it, $87 billion. Yeah. This isn't some little side feature. This is a main event revenue stream. So the big question is, how do you get a piece of that pie? Well, winning on TikTok Shop isn't about just one thing. You gotta use the whole 4-pillar playbook.
You need that authentic, creator-led content, engaging live shopping events, a scalable affiliate program, and smart shop ads to boost what's working. They all have to work together, in sync.
And hey, a little pro tip for you. Whatever you do, do not sleep on that live shopping pillar. The numbers don't lie. The urgency, the real-time interaction, it all means a good live shopping event can convert 3 to 5 times better than a regular video in your feed. It's an absolute powerhouse.
All right, let's tackle the big one. The question every single creator is asking themselves right now. TikTok or YouTube Shorts? Where should I put my energy? Now, you can post on both, sure, but really digging deep on one platform, that's usually where the magic happens. So let's figure out how you choose.
Okay, this side-by-side really breaks it down and makes the choice a lot easier. On one hand, you've got TikTok. Its algorithm is all about speed. It loves trends, novelty, fast hooks, and it's generally a younger crowd. On the other hand, you have YouTube Shorts. Its algorithm rewards value, things that keep people watching, and stuff that shows up in search for a much broader audience. And, maybe most importantly, how you get paid on each is completely different. So here's the bottom line. You should probably choose YouTube Shorts if your content is evergreen. You know, educational stuff, how-to guides, anything that someone might be searching for months from now. And if your main goal is to earn that direct, more predictable ad revenue straight from the platform, YouTube is definitely the way to go. Now, on the flip side, you should choose TikTok if your content is all about your personality. It's about trends, it's about humor, it's about being right in the middle of a cultural moment. If you're chasing that lightning-in-a-bottle viral reach and your plan is to make money mainly through brand deals, then yeah, TikTok is absolutely built for you. Okay. Deep breath, you know your creator stage, you get the big cultural trends, you've picked your primary platform. Now let's tie it all together with a simple framework, something you can actually start using, like today, for sustainable growth. And the secret sauce to this whole framework is something called the 70-20-10 rule. And listen, this is not about burning yourself out by posting more, it's about posting smarter. It's this brilliant little system for balancing what your audience already loves with the new stuff you need to try to keep growing. So here's how it works. It's super simple. 70% of your content, that's your core stuff, your bread and butter, the valuable content that builds your authority. Then 20%, that's for playing with current trends, but twisting them to fit your own unique style. And that last 10%, ooh, that's the fun part. That's your playground, your lab. It's where you get weird, test new things, and maybe find your next viral format. You know, when you boil it all down, everything we've talked about, the growth stages, the cultural trends, that 70-20-10 rule, it all comes back to one simple idea. All of that stuff, that's your foundation. It's the strategy. But in this new era of irreplaceable instinct, your real advantage, your superpower, it's your authenticity. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with just one question to think about. I want you to forget all the trends, forget the algorithms, just for a second. And ask yourself this. What is the one story, the one unique perspective that only you can tell? Because I promise you, that's where your best content is waiting.